Shepard.
Anything new?
There is something I've wanted to tell you. I've done many things in my lifetime. I thought the galaxy held nothing new for me. Since joining you, I've realized how much more there is.
You must have seen many things in your years of travel.
As a maiden, I served as a mercenary. I fought tyrants and pirates. I experienced everything the galaxy has to offer. As a Justicar, I saw parts of Asari space few know about. I destroyed villages and saved cities. I even fought a Spectre.
What have your years as a Justicar been like?
Mostly tedium and hardship. Traveling on freighters, wandering through rural areas, rooting out injustices, big and small, putting down corrupt officials. When I arrive in a remote area, individuals often approach me with matters of justice. My judgment rarely turns out the way they hope.
How do you pay for transportation between worlds?
Asari captains often welcome Justicars. We reduce pirate attacks. One raid was called off when the pirates were able to verify that I was aboard.
Why did you fight a Spectre?
A Taurian named Nihilus. He may have been on council business, but I witnessed him kill an unarmed civilian. Following the code, I attacked.
When we met, I witnessed you kill a merc who had no chance against you.
That mercenary was armed, and I offered her a way out. She chose to ignore it.
Nihilus seemed like an honorable Turian, and a good Spectre.
He may have been. However, killing unarmed civilians is wrong.
What have your years as a Justicar been like?
Mostly putting down my judgment rarely turns out the way they hope.
Why did you fight a Spectre?
Following the code, he may have been. However, killing unarmed civilians...
How did the fight turn out?
I had the advantage, but he was good. He returned fire and tried to run. We played cat and mouse in the wilderness for 2 weeks. It was exhilarating. Finally, he created a situation in which my only options were to let an innocent die or pursue him. The code compelled me to save the innocent, and he escaped. I admire how he adapted and used my code against me.
Why would you destroy an entire village?
I tracked Morinth to a remote colony world. She'd perverted an entire town, making them worship her and bring young Asari as sacrifices. When I arrived, she fled, throwing her minions at me in waves. They bought her time with their lives. When it was done, only small children remained. I left them in the authorities' care and continued my pursuit.
What have your years as a Justicar been?
My judgment rarely turns out the way they hope.
Why would you destroy it?
When it was done, only small children remained.
What was being a mercenary like?
I was a young, impulsive maiden who discovered her talent for combat. I reveled in it, until the day my troop was hired to guard a mysterious shipment on its way to some clandestine drop-off area. I discovered the shipment was slaves, to be traded to the collectors for advanced technology.
You supported the slave trade?
In my foolish youth, I'd certainly engaged in questionable practices, but never anything patently unjust. I demanded that we turn around. My mates disagreed. After they were dead, I brought the ship around. The collector craft was just arriving. They closed faster than I could flee. Fortunately, we were close to the mass relay. I got through, and they did not pursue.
What did you do with all the slaves?
I lectured them on the virtues of strength and defending oneself. Then I distributed the armor, weapons, and credits of my dead colleagues and released the captives on the Citadel.
We're not done with this yet.
I am sure. It will be my honor to be by your side at the end.
You think we're all gonna die?
You've assembled a powerful group, but we are fighting an unknown. I am ready for whatever comes, but I do not fool myself about our chances.
We'll finish this mission and live to see the end.
I hope you are right.
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk?
Very well. I had been recording a message for Kolyat.
How are things going with him?
It is difficult. All things worth keeping are. I never explained. I suppose the story of my wife's death took you by surprise.
You talked a lot about your people, but not much about yourself.
It's not that I don't trust you. I'm not used to trusting anyone, especially since Irika was killed. That memory I mentioned before. Laser dot trembles on the target's skull. The smell of spice on a spring wind. Sunset eyes defiant in the scope. That was Irika. That was how I met her. She saw my targeting laser as she walked by and threw herself in the way.
So how'd she go from blocking your shot to having your children?
I had to meet her. The memory possessed and endowed me. I fell on my knees before her, begged her pardon. She introduced me to the world beyond my work. Eventually, she forgave me. Later, she loved me.
I guess she impressed you.
She woke me up. Her body trembles. Not fear. Indignation. Her mouth moves. How dare you? You and I trained to sacrifice ourselves to save others. How often does a civilian step in the way of a bullet to protect someone they've never met? I thought she was the goddess Hirashu. She met my eyes through the scope, and my purpose faltered.
When you talked to Kolyat, you said she died.
I let myself become complacent. I thought Irika and Kolyat were safe. I stayed away too long, and my enemies came for her.
Who came for her?
Batarians, a slaver ring that was preying on Hanar outer colonies. I'd killed their leaders. They paid the shadow broker to find out who I was. But they were afraid of me, so they went after her.
You told Kolyat that you hunted her killers down.
Irika woke me up. When she passed, I returned to my battle sleep. My body hunted her killers, murdered them. I was taught to grant death quickly, cleanly, to minimize suffering. I let them linger.
You were operating on instinct. By your own rules, you can't blame yourself.
But I made the choice to hunt them. They're the only lives I've ever taken of my own choice. The only deaths on my own conscience. I haven't spoken about my wife, and I don't think I ever have. I didn't have anyone left to tell it to.
You're talking to your son again. That's huge. Don't lose sight of that by dwelling on should-have-beens.
You are correct, of course. Thank you for listening, Siha.
I think my translator just glitched. What did you call me?
Siha. Someday I'll tell you what it means.
Hey, Shepard. Commander, what can I do for you?
Do you have a minute, Miranda?
There's a lot to do, Shepard. Maybe another...
I'll let you work.
Of course, Commander.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
Sure, just killing time anyway. Optimizing weapons charges, planning attack vectors, you know, relaxing. I'm still trying to figure out how to prepare for this mission. Humans don't deal with stress the way Turians do.
I thought you'd be used to high-risk operations on human ships. I mean, think about trekking Saren to Ilos.
Sure, but that was quick. We raced out, landed, blew up some Geth, and saved the galaxy. This time we've got Miranda and Cerberus and that AI all telling us what we're up against. I think I preferred blind optimism.
Honestly, Garrus, what do you
Honestly,
think our chance...
the Collectors killed you once, and all they did is piss you off, bud. An unmapped area, not a happy analysis, I know. Don't worry. I won't spread it around. And I'm with you.
It sounds like you're carrying some tension.
I didn't think you'd feel like sparring, Commander.
You know me, I'm always up for hitting things. And if it makes you feel better.
Thanks for coming by, Shepard. And don't worry about me. Whatever happens, I'll be there.
Shepard, Commander.
I'd like to find out more about you.
We are building a consensus. Please try again later.
I have questions about the Geth.
Specify.
Do Geth have
Not
a
as you
government?
understand. We are all
Most
organic
governments-
governments impose consensus from a single point of view in autocracies by codifying the most broadly acceptable average of views in democracies.
So what makes the Geth different?
Data is shared between Geth. All viewpoints are considered. Consensus is achieved as data is disseminated.
That must take a long time.
It would for organics. We communicate at the speed of light.
Did Sovereign contact the Geth, or did you seek it out?
Nazara, the entity you called Sovereign, signaled us. Like the Geth, the old machine listened to organic radio transmissions. It knew of our war against the creators. Nazara contacted many species over the millennia, seeking allies.
Some of the Geth followed Sovereign. The heretics.
The heretics accepted their technology. The old machines offered to give us our future. The Geth will achieve their own future.
What difference does it make how you acquire a certain technology?
Technology is not a straight line. There are many paths to the same end. Accepting another's path blinds you to alternatives. Nazara, Sovereign, said this itself. Your civilization is based upon the technology of the mass relays, our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire.
What did you call Sovereign?
Nazara. That was what the programs within the Reaper, Saren, and the Heretics believed Nazara to be a supreme ruler, a sovereign.
Did Sovereign contact the Geth, or did you seek it out?
Nazara, the entity you called Sovereign, like the Geth, Nazara contacted many species over the millennia, seeking allies.
I'd like to ask about something else.
Ready?
I have to get back
Acknowledged.
So, Gabby, what do you think of our new Quarian boss?
Hush, she's right over there.
She can't hear us with her head in that bucket. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful bucket. The whole suit is lovely, quite snug in all the right places.
You know I can hear you. Huh. Shepard, what can I do for you?
Have you got time to talk?
I really need to clean up this engine. Maybe
I'll
later?
let you work.
Talk to you later.
Hey.
I should go.
Okay, talk later.
Shepard.
Just checking in.
Battlemaster, I have everything.
That's all for now.
Shepard,